Hello.
Hi. Hello there.
I'm Danielle.
I'm Savvy. And I'm Katie.
And we're here to talk to you about Challis Volcanics.
Come back.
So what are Challis Volcanics? I know that you guys really want to know. Okay, so basically we're just going to talk to you about how rock forms are found in the Challis Volcanic group, the primary age of the rocks, the general geological history of the Challis Volcanic group, present, topography, and past geologic history, major structural features of the Challis Volcanic group, as well as natural resources and hazards found in this area. Okay, so the Challis Volcanic episode is part of a widespread Eocene volcanic belt that covered a large part of the Eocene northwestern United States and southwestern British Columbia. The Challis Volcanic group covers approximately 25,000 square kilometers, and it is the largest Eocene volcanic field. Also, the Challis Volcanic group occupies the valley of the Lakewood River and its tributaries in the Haley and Idaho Falls part of southern Idaho.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the different types of rocks. And the first is the intrusive platoons. And those are intrusive rocks, also called platonic rock. Igneous rock formed when magma formed into older rocks at depths within the Earth's crust, which then slowly solidifies below the Earth's surface, though it may later be exposed by erosion. Igneous intrusions form a variety of rock types. The second one is rhyodacite and rhyolite ash flow tuffs, and those are layers in Challis Volcanics. The third is rhyodacite and rhyolite domes and plugs, and those form when highly viscous lavas like rhyolite and dacite are extruded out of the ground. And the ages are basalt, conglomerate, igneous activity occurred in two main phases. The first phase is 52 MA, and the granitic platoons are 3 to 4 miles below the surface, and phase 2 is 51 to 45 MA, and those included volcanic eruptions and intermediate and mafic lava.
Alright, and I'm going to talk to you about the major structures.
Okay, so we found some more rocks for Challis Volcanics, and the first one is rhyolite, and andesite, and breccia, which is a sedimentary rock, and basalt.
So most of these rocks that we found, also, they're mostly conglomerate or igneous. But we also did, because we wanted to also point out that it is sedimentary rock that is found here, because it was part of the oceanic lithosphere, so we also want to add that. Awesome! Now on to a video of a explosion. Oh man, this is good.
Yabai. ここなんかここらの下。
どうする？この影にいた方がいい？
やばいねこれ。
下がるもっと。避難小屋ってどこにある？
避難小屋どこ？
あそこだ、あそこ行く？
あ、行こう。
行こう。下。
岡山で降りた方がいいですか？避難小屋。
避難小屋まで行こうか。
避難小屋。避難小屋行こうみんなじゃあ。行こう。移動しましょう。移動しましょう。間に合わん。口隠せ。
for you who have been in Idaho or Boise, you've probably gone through Challis if you've ever been near Stanley. It's that like really small town that only like has 2 houses, and you're like, oh, we went by a town. But what you mostly, when you go over there, it's actually like totally gorgeous. But when you're like standing and like spend some time, it looks like big hills, and then on top of these hills are like these weird plugs, I believe we have figured out the definition for, on top of the hills, and they're kind of like, they're just a little different than what I like anywhere else. Maybe we'll show you a picture if you remember.
Sorry.
Anyways, they're all normal faults in the Challis fault zone. The extensional zone is oriented north-east, southwest, and contains high and low angled normal faults, which are commonly dipped towards each other to form rift gibbons, which, from what we've seen, is on a large scale. I think we talked about it, touched on it in class. You go like, it's like mountain, then valley, mountain, valley, mountain, valley. And then also we're going to talk about the history. The Eocene volcanic fields, as we've already mentioned, are 52 to 39 million years old, or MA. It was created by the oceanic Farallon plate. Please excuse me if I am totally butchering a lot of these names. Let's see. Lost my place. Underneath the continent, it goes underneath the continental North American plate, and it actually there's a subduction rate of the Farallon plate went out very fast and then slowed over time. In the Challis episode, it's actually, again, like I said, it's a small town in Idaho, and apparently the most controversial chapter in geologic history over the Pacific Northwest. Large regions of the Pacific Northwest are folded under or faulted and rearranged, all while hosting a chain of volcanoes running diagonally through Washington and Idaho. At the end of this period, a large chunk of our ocean floor, now the Olympic Peninsula, was uplifted and forced to the edge of the continent, extending the continental margin to its modern western limit.
Okay, so we just talked to you about kind of like the topography of the area in this province, and so I'm just going to talk to you a little bit how it's related to how present-day Challis is looking compared to the history of this geologic area. So there's consistent tilt towards the east, and there's also regional tilt that must be structural, and there's also glaciated areas. So basically, glaciers came through and reshaped the valley, leaving what we can see now as a detachment about halfway through Fall Creek and Pioneer Mountains, where the gray soft slope changes to rocky cliffs. And so through these glacial structures, we can connect the present-day topography to the geologic history that we just went over. Also, some of the natural resources in this area include having half of the land is forested, and there's also a lot of gold and silver mining occurring in this area as well. And also Challis, the development has been very rapid, so that has also been a big factor in this area.
Okay, so I just drew a really horrible crude drawing of what we're trying to explain, as in the topography and the geological structures we see in Challis. It's mostly not really mountainy. I mean, there's lots of mountains, but the foothills area, or when you get right down into the hilly portion, this is my awesome little river. I know you can't see it because rocks are sexy, but these are my trees, and then these are the hills that are formed. And then I know these are really, really rough, but these are supposed to be different formations of rock. It doesn't quite go along with. It just kind of looks like exposed rocks that are stiff and very vertical, and they look really really weird and different from other places.
Yeah, and that just kind of ties back to like the domes and the plugs and all that we talked about when going over the geologic structure of the Challis Volcanic Group. Yeah, okay, so overall, Challis is a beautiful area. Savvy has informed us. She showed us some pictures, and we suggest that you all go visit. And it's just a really beautiful area in Idaho that has so much geologic history, also very controversial. And thank you for watching our video, and we really hope that you learned about, oh my gosh, I can't talk. We really hope that you learned a lot about Challis Volcanics. And just remember, geology rocks.